Fine morning to return here on screen for Sports Central here on Spectrum Television. Mission here is very simple to take a look at the biggest sporting stories from across tennis, where the Toronto Open is about the biggest tennis event across the WTA and the ATP. This morning we're talking very fine details about the latest transfer stories, well, some leagues in Europe getting set to return. We're talking the Italian City and the Spanish Primera División Liga also set for return this week. We'll tell you about the latest stories from their reactions to continue drill. The Commonwealth Games 22nd edition in Birmingham, United Kingdom. We'll bring you the latest stories, the rankings across the ATP and the WTA, and a lot more. All you have to do is stay glued. Let's take you through all of the stories in fine details. My name is Raj James, excited to return here on screen. In typical fashion, we'll begin the show this morning with Sports Wrap-Up, bringing you up to speed with the very latest news making rounds in this ever-evolving industry. Welcome. Right, so we'll begin the show this morning with tennis stories. Karen Khachanov at we'll begin this morning talking about the man earning every bit of his 200th tour-level singles win yesterday at the National Bank Open in Toronto. Now, after splitting two sets of razor-thin margins against Francesco Cerundolo, the man who's 26 power through the decider in a 7-6, 5-7, 6-3 victory. The world number 28 now improves to 200, 154 with the result hitting 22 winners, firing 5 aces in the 2-hour 43 minutes contest. Now he will next face Marin Cilic or Borna Coric in the second round. Away from there, let's tell you also about a return of Serena Williams claiming her first singles win in 14 months as she beat Spain's Nuria Parrizas Diaz to reach the second round of the National Bank Open in Toronto. The American great, who's now 40, showed glimpses of her vintage ball striking in a 6-3, 6-4 victory over the world number 57. Williams's last single success was at the 2021 French Open. Roland Garros should face either Olympic gold medalist Belinda Bencic or Teresa Martinkova next. Williams made her singles return at Wimbledon in June after a year out with injury, after speculations about retirement. Still from there, Lena Rybakina picked up her first match win since she charged to her first Grand Slam title at Wimbledon last month, but it came in a lengthy fashion. Rybakina needed exactly 3 hours to overcome in-form Boskova 7-5, 6-7, 6-1 to progress. Elsewhere, Yelena Ostapenko, the 2017 Roland Garros champion, took 1 hour 13 minutes to improve to 3-love against Kalinina on tour in a 6-4, 6-2 victory yesterday. Ostapenko won 81% of points behind her first service and claimed 2/3 of points when returning to Kalinina's serve second. Now, Kalinina had 6 aces, but also 11 double faults in that particular game. Now, let's talk about rankings. After winning the ATP 500 event in Washington, D.C., Nick Kyrgios soared to number 67. From number 67 to number 34 in the latest ATP rankings this week, the highest ranking since he was ranked number 23 the week of February 24th, 2020, which was almost 2.5 years ago. Now, the Australian's rebound up the rankings has been incredible this year. He was ranked at number 137, exactly 100 spots below where he is now in the last week of February. But he's gone 26-6 since then, highlighted by reaching his first Grand Slam final at Wimbledon, winning his 7th career ATP title in Washington, D.C. The Australian isn't the only notable mover on the ATP rankings this week. Japan's Noshihito Nishioka jumps 42 spots from number 96 to 54 after reaching the biggest final of his career in Washington, D.C., where he fell to Kyrgios 6-4, 6-3. Sweden's Mikael Ymer rises 39 spots from number 115 to number 76 after reaching the semifinals in DC. Let's talk some golf now, where South Korea's Kim Jong-young claimed his first victory on the PGA Tour after returning and posting a 9-under par 61 on Sunday to win the Winham Championship. Now, Kim Ho's 20 becomes the second youngest winner on the PGA Tour since 1932. Now, despite opening the tournament with a quadruple bogey, finished 5 strokes ahead of compatriot Im Song-jae, an American John O in the North Carolina. Now, his victory, the first on the PGA Tour by a player born in the 2000s, means he joins the PGA Tour as a full member, having been playing since mid-July on a special temporary membership. Now, let's go further, still in the US, but now let's talk about the NBA stories, where we hear the Los Angeles Lakers have become very open to the idea of trading Anthony Davis this summer, should interesting offers come in for him. Now, even though Davis is one of their star players, he could be on his way out of the club very soon if there is enough interest. We understand. Now, as has been reported by Lakers Daily, several of the executives at Lakers are keen to find out what sort of markets there is for the player and whether it could be beneficial in the long run to the franchise. Davis has a contract with the Lakers, meanwhile, running until 2024 and is set to be the key man after James has gone. Now let's come back further home to Nigeria and talk about the ITO Cup. Now, there's been massive reaction following the Nigerian Football Federation's decision to list Nigerian Professional Football League club Kwara United as one of the country's representatives in the CAF Confederations Cup. Now, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, on Sunday confirmed Kwara United as Nigeria's second representatives in the competition ahead of the draw billed for today in Egypt. It was learned that clubs competing in the ITO Cup, which is in its quarterfinal stage, may pull out of the competition. The remaining clubs are Niger Tornadoes, Lobby Stars, Wiki Tories, National United, Headline FC, from Owerri, Katsina United, Kogi United, and Kano Pillars. Kwara finished 4th in the NPFL last season, missing out on a chance to play on the continent. They also crashed out in the round of 32 in the ongoing ITO Cup competition after losing 4-3 in penalties to Wiki Tories after a hard-fought 90 minutes ended 1-1. Usually, the third-place NPFL side, as well as winners of the ITO Cup, represent the country in the CAF Confederations Cup. Kwara United announced on their Twitter handle yesterday that NFF had entered their name for the competition, sparking reactions across the country. Now, back to Europe, where Inter Milan have ended forward Alexis Sanchez's contract by mutual consent. Now, Chile's Sanchez scored 20 goals in 109 appearances for the Serie A side after joining from Manchester United on an initial loan deal in 2019. The man, who's now 33, helped Inter to their first league title for 11 years in the 2020-2021 campaign, but has struggled for regular playing time. Sanchez also had 4 seasons at Arsenal, has been linked with the move to a French club, Marseille. Still talking transfers, Everton have completed the signing of England's centre-back Conor Cody on a season-long loan. Everton lost Ben Godfrey and Yerry Mina to injury and defeat by Chelsea in the Premier League opening on Saturday. Now, Cody is Everton's 4th signing of the summer, following the arrivals of centre-back James Tarkowski and forward Dwight McNeil from Burnley and defender Ruben Vinagre from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Cody made more than 300 appearances in 7 seasons at Wolves after joining from Huddersfield. And that's it on Sports Wrap-Up this morning. We'll get talking in very fine details after this short time. I'll see you right here with us.
It's his corner now. The cross, back post, Dubois is there, straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Léon Dubois!
Because the boots were against he played the simple ball.
Dia in for Hurtado! An all-timer from Eric Hurtado!
It is my great pleasure to address you all, and I am particularly very pleased to be able to once again address those of you that have been with us from inception, as well as those of you who are new to the Planet Radio and Spectrum Television platforms. As an ardent listener and follower of the TAP Media Group, I am certain you have observed the frequent interruptions in our transmission and sometimes non-operation for some time now. This is as a result of the devastating damage caused by a massive thunder strike on our installations in the Spectrum TV, Planet radio stations, and on our power generating plants. This happened a few months after the completion of the periodic reinforcement of our earthing system. We want to very sincerely and unreservedly tender our apologies for all the inconveniences and the quality infotainment you've missed due to the unfortunate lightning incident. The wise man said, "It is not how many times you fall, but how courageous and determined you are to get up, dust yourself and move on, that matters." So we have left no stone unturned in our effort to return to full capacity transmission. The challenges we have faced in the past few weeks afforded us the time to reflect on the goodwill shown to us by our listeners, viewers, clients, and partners. So I convey here the sentiment of immense appreciation shared by the board, management, and staff of TAF Media Group to our esteemed listeners and viewers for your unwavering support, loyalty, and sustained patronage. You all are truly the reason for our existence. Our years of operating in a sector such as ours that is constantly and rapidly evolving is an achievement that we are particularly proud of. We are honored to be here, and even more so to have done it on the back of our consistent, strong values of discipline and high quality service, all the while raising our profile and prominence in the industry. Esteemed listeners and viewers, recall that Planet Radio came alive when people least expected it. When it did, well-meaning individuals in the state proposed that the vision of establishing the first privately owned and indigenous radio stations was a burden shared by many, but actualized first by TAF and Associate. In the same vein, and as part of our continued effort to get into closer contact with the people through our wider coverage of radio and programming, I announce to you the introduction and commencement of an entirely indigenous language radio station into the TAF Media Group brands, effective Monday, August 1st, 2022. For us at TAF Media Group, the emergence of Tangsio 102.7 FM, as the station is so called, is particularly thrilled and momentous, as it is aimed at catering for the information, education, and entertainment needs of the mass of our indigenous populace that hitherto have not been catered for with our English language broadcast on Planet Radio. Our objective is to build a profitable, sustainable, and contributing company for the enlightenment and development of our people. And we know that in order to achieve this, the happiness and satisfaction of our teeming listeners and viewers is the priority. Tangsio 102.7 FM will be broadcast exclusively in Ibibio, Anang, Oro, and Efik languages. And in doing this, we will continue to uphold the best standards of professionalism in the conduct of our business, even as we will continue to push for more innovative ways of serving the people better. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to members of the board and the entire staff of TAF Media Group who have been doing their very best in their respective positions, especially to the engineering staff who are devoting their effort to ensuring smooth operations in spite of the challenging times. This for me is profound and indispensable for this new leap. Above all, I gratefully acknowledge the support and sustained patronage of the government of Akwa Ibom states, clients and partners, and once again, the goodwill of our listeners and viewers. We hope and believe that Tangsio 102.7 will be of immense benefit to our people, as it will help expand the space for social political engagement, entertainment, and the advancement of our dear state. Definitely, Tangsio will be a greater envy of our competition. Finally, TAF Media Group sincerely appreciates the good people of Ibiakuran for their unceasing support in ensuring that our assets are secured. May the Almighty God continue to bless TAF Media Group, Ibiakuran people, Akwa Ibom State, and the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Tangsio 102.7 FM. Ekene Dang.
Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.
It is corner now. The cross, back post. Dubois is there. Straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Leo Dubois.
Because the sport can't see, played the simple ball.
Dia in for Hurtado. And all-timer from Eric Hurtado.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by across them. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian police force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My lord, the Matters Council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but you can't be talking about cases which are in court,
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
Many thanks for staying right here with us. It's Sports Central here in Spectrum Television, and Marizona joins the show very quickly. Blyden is also here, and together we'll take a look at the stories in very fine details now. Mari, let's begin with Karen Kachanov. Well, the biggest story event is about the National Bank Open in Toronto, Canada, across the women and the men's show. But let's begin with Karen Kachanov. Not many players these days you'd see reaching that number, 200. Well, 100 to start with,
right?
You know, but 200 is a massive number, and that's a massive milestone. But that's what Karen Kachanov achieved yesterday at the National Bank Open, seeing off Argentine Francesco Cerundolo to rack up that particular number. Talk to us about, you know, the man, Karen Kachanov. What do you make of his career so far?
Right, a remarkable feat first up, you know, reaching number 200 for him. It's not something that we see every day in tennis players, especially, you know, for players that are not named Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, or Roger Federer. So it's a fantastic feat for a man like him. But a lot of people believe that his best days are behind him, because look back to 2013, 2014. He was winning back-to-back titles, you know, and then he was getting to finals in tour-level titles on a consistent basis. But, you know, post-2015, it's been a downturn in terms of form for him. He crashed out on tournaments at the first round, back-to-back as well. And then I love the fact that he's not crashed out completely. He's been able to come back and trying to get back to winning ways. And then winning his 200th game yesterday is fantastic for me. But I think he should go beyond just that 200 milestone, get to winning titles, because the Karen Kakanov used to, in 2014, 2015 used to be a player that was one of those players that would see maybe compete for titles with the likes of Novak Djokovic, but unfortunately it's been a different story for him in the last 5 years. So I just think that, with the motivation of winning your 200th game, to come with some consistency as well, winning a lot more games as possible. It's a preparation for the US Open, and then I think that would be a good tournament for him to stake a claim and make a strong statement heading into the new year.
All right, now, Blythe, let's quickly talk about a return as well for legendary tennis figure. We're talking Serena Williams at 40. The conversation again is whether or not her best days are behind her. But she's back now, of course, had a win, her first in 14 months. Wow. She talked about coming from tennis wilderness. The statement capped it. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Serena Williams finally gets to win. A much desired win. This must delight her, and of course must knock in that ambition. But she's not done just yet.
Well, surely, if you have a big name in tennis, especially the WTA level of tennis, women's category, it ought to be Serena Williams. Big player. 23 Grand Slam, no joke. But the good thing about Serena Williams has been the fact that she's been able to get a win after so long being out of the game. It's been about 1 year plus, 14 months since she finally got this win. She came back during the Wimbledon Open, but struggled a bit, not at her best, as you said, right, James. But for me personally, it's quite exciting. It's one of those players you always talk about. When she gets to the big stage, it makes things to tick up. Everyone gets excited about Serena Williams. She was able to beat Noria Diaz 6-3, 6-4 to get to a level where she gets this level of win and performance. For me, it's quite exciting for Serena Williams, how she's doing what she's doing, and what she's doing, it's exceptional, especially at the 1000 Masters in prep for the US Open. It's not easy, but it's the excitement of tennis having Serena Williams back.
All right, now, well, she's back now. One win for her, it has to be about adding the numbers, before the US Open, where she's very certain she would play there.
Right. I think first off, it's a good thing for her. The key word is adding the numbers, because the last time we saw her play was the Wimbledon. She crashed in the first round, losing to Harmony Tan. I can remember that particular one. And then it's been a problem of consistency for her even before Wimbledon Open. She crashed out of tour-level tournaments in the build-up to the Wimbledon. And that's been the story for her. So, she does not guarantee consistency, unfortunately, due to her age. And I'm worried about how she would perform at the US Open. It's a home kind of tournament in her home ground, so there's so much expectations for her. And I was thinking about Serena Williams, right? She's 40, and then her body does not guarantee that level of numbers that she used to put up before. So I'm just worried about how to be able to put up fine performance at the US Open. She's still chasing that 24 Grand Slam milestone, which nobody else in the Open era has done before. So I just feel that it's a little too ambitious for her, because her body might not just let her do that.
But James, I think she's even gotten to a point, listening to her after this match, she did talk about getting to that light point where she gets to freedom, thinking about retirement as soon as possible. So it's exciting one way or the other. The sport will really mean Serena Williams, but I think she's getting to that point, understanding that her body can carry her, and most likely she's not going to win the US Open, not going to win even this tour level.
But we're talking about Serena Williams as though her career is over, and it's got to be concerning, because Serena might not play at her absolute best at this moment, but like Andy Murray, as in the case of Andy Murray, I always believe it's the chance for fans, chance for the newbies to enjoy greatness.
Right. I think there's this thing about living when the ovation is loudest. I think it's better you live when you're still up there. When things come crashing down, and then you're just giving wild cards into tournaments.
Now let's look at something. With 23 Grand Slam titles, she's the most successful tennis player in this particular era, male or female. Is she under any kind of pressure at this point?
Well, male or female, I wouldn't say male or female, but from the female category, she's exceptional from my standpoint.
Male or female, no one has that number. It's 23
Grand Slam titles.
None.
I think
I know. I'm talking about, because I'm looking at the competitiveness that's been around the male category. That's why I'm not putting it there. But no matter how you want to look
at it, the numbers speak now. We're talking. We're speaking
agree
from the standpoint of the numbers. The numbers makes her the most successful in open era, male or female.
All right.
Yeah.
We agree to the fact that she's doing this and she's quite successful. She's a model for many young lads. We're talking about the likes of Coco Gauff, who've really talked about looking up to Serena Williams, being like Serena Williams. It's a difficult thing to do. 23 Grand Slam, not a method. But definitely we have to get to that point where we realize, definitely Mari was talking about getting to retire when it's loudest. I think we'll never get to a point when it's loudest. Yeah. But getting to a point where she plays quite well, at least being competitive, it's enough for me.
Now it bothers me because this one has been out injured for a while, but no one is talking about retirement for Roger Federer. Yeah, it's the same bracket, right? But no one is talking about Roger Federer retiring. We just talk about Roger Federer. I want to see him play tennis, enjoy him playing tennis. Right. It's been a face of tennis for quite a while. So why is Serena's case different? Why are we now saying, well, Serena not playing at that competitive level, she should retire?
Here's what I think, Bright. You talked about pressure. And when she won the 23rd Grand Slam title, there was this talk about, she particularly said herself that she intends to exceed, surpass Margaret Court's record of 23 Grand Slams. She wants to get a 24th Grand Slam. So for pressure, she's one putting pressure on herself, particularly to go all out and win. And so because of the things she's said in the media, a lot of people still think that she can be competitive. But that's not, the things she said and the way her body moves, clearly it's not the same thing. So for Roger Federer, Roger is content with what he's done so far. He just wants to play tennis. He's not really particular about winning tennis. Yeah, but for Serena Williams, I think she still has these intentions to win.
Now let's look at something. Blyden, still staying with the Serena Williams conversation. Now, when you talk about, Mario just talked about her talking about winning, matching Margaret Court's record of 24 Grand Slams. That was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
This is 2022. And so we're still addressing her, and of course still making reference to Serena Williams of pre-COVID and post-COVID, where her lot has changed, not just for the sports, but a lot has changed for her physically and as a person. She's now a mother.
Yeah.
So beyond being a tennis player, she's got responsibilities back at home. So for her, there are a lot more important things now beyond winning 24 Grand Slam titles. So maybe we're not looking at the perspectives changing for Serena Williams, because now you listen to Serena Williams talk these days and it sounds more like, well, I'm just enjoying tennis. If I win, I win. I don't win, well, who cares?
It doesn't have to. It doesn't get to be different than what it is.
Yeah.
Because first up is this: you look at it as an athlete, a tennis player. Your body tells you how it is. Before now, you never really get to see Serena Williams being beaten in first round. It seemed like something that's not normal, but it's becoming consistent. I understand the fact that she's not been playing in recent times, about a year plus 14 months, and that could be a big concern. And she's trying to recuperate, and she needs more games. I was listening to her. Right now, she's at a point where she thinks it's based on the outcome that's coming. But a preset mindset, knowing fully well she's 40, going to 41 by September, and who knows what might happen. She cannot be the same Serena Williams. At some point, you have to accept it. It's normal. And sooner or later, she's going to retire. And that's the beauty of it.
She will. But the conversation from here is, why are we bugging her with the conversations of winning 23 Grand Slams or winning beyond 23 Grand Slams, or while we're bugging her with the conversations of retiring? Why not just enjoy Serena Williams as we have her now? I'm sure we're not seeing same for Andy Murray, who's had a more torrid time. He's had more losses than wins in the last 2-3 years combined. He's been playing active tennis. We're not talking about the same conversation. For Roger Federer, has been out injured for a while now. No one is talking about retirement for him, or not bugging him with the conversation of retirement. Are we doing double standards now? That's basically my conversation.
I think the difference,
but now let's quickly leave there and talk about Nick Kyrgios. This one has worked very hard. It's been a breakout 2022 for him. His most consistent season, and that has shown in the latest rankings now, clawing back into the top 30. Well, Nick Kyrgios should look at the work he's put in this year and must be proud of what he's done over the weekend. When we returned yesterday, we talked about him sweeping through Washington, winning the singles and the doubles title there alongside Jack Sock, the American. But must be proud, and he must be wanting more at this point, Blyden.
Surely, he must be. And the beauty about the tours, as I always said, especially whether it's a 250 tour, 500 tour, 1,000 tour, is the fact that when you get the numbers, it reflects on the rankings. And that's what we've seen with Nick Kyrgios. Over time, she's been out of the top 50, struggling and coming back gradually, moved about 26 points and hitting within 27 on the ranking. Good player by all standards. And we've really talked about Nick Kyrgios in recent times, about his various antics, how it's affected him in the game. And I think the beauty of it was the moment he got to that finals against Djokovic, it changed everything about him. He realizes he needs to start winning. And by winning, he'll definitely move up the ranking. And that speaks volume about his gift, his talent, and his quality.
All right, now we should take a quick listen to Nick Kyrgios, what the man had to say, having won in Washington over the weekend. We'll talk more about tennis stories and more ranking stories after now, but let's take a listen to Nick Kyrgios now.